Welcome to Venetian National Radio. We're here to talk to you today about the introduction of a new general of the Venetian Army, Michael Cassio. Recently, Michael Cassio was involved in a bit of controversy within the ranks of the Navy.
Cassio recently graduated from the Venetian Military Institute, and he's here to talk about his promotion to general after the chaos that ensued in Cyprus last month, which resulted in the death of General Othello, his wife, and third-in-command Iago.
Pretty sure I've heard through the grapevine that he had been sleeping around with those various Venetian prostitutes, too.
Cassio, care to give us your side of the story?
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. My name is Michael Cassio, as you guys are very well aware. I am glad to grace y'all with my presence. So I was straight out of school. I was smart, I had military experience. This guy named Othello came up to me and said, "Hey man, you want a job?" I said, "Sure man, appreciate it." That was pretty simple, you know. There's not really much, I was okay with him, giving me a job straight out of college. I wasn't really going to argue with that. So, also, I'm really a book kind of guy, you know. I'm not really a military guy, but I know this job was meant for me. There was this older guy who'd been in the military for some amount of years who was looking for that same job. But hey, you know, that's life. He didn't get it.
Hell yeah, it is. That old hag couldn't lead those boys. Yeah, just ain't happening.
Can you talk to us about how you ended up in Cyprus, or is that classified military information?
You know, it was classified until what happened. Me and the guys were hanging around, talking about war and stuff, and we got a letter from the Big Cheese saying, "Enemies are coming to Cyprus. Go and protect it." So we headed out of a boat. It didn't take long to get there, and when we got there, I was pissed. They didn't have my favorite soap on the boat.
Wait. Hold up. Just hang on 1 second now. So you're saying that you got this amazing promotion without having done hardly anything, beating out the guy who had been in the military for years, a guy who risked his life for the Venetian people, and you're upset about the soap?
As I was saying, they didn't have my soap. We hear from the Big Cheese that all the enemies die. From a natural disaster and water and wind, you know? I really didn't care. I was mad that, I wasn't gonna fight, but hey, I didn't have to fight and risk my life. It's sort of a win-win situation, you know? But since, you know, enemies might still be alive and, trying to swim after Cyprus, I don't know, they sometimes do that. We were stuck there for about a week or two just to get the logistics out of the way. I was looking forward to stabbing some folks, you know? So we now have all the top military officials just standing around, looking at the newspaper. So we decided to let loose and party like it's $15.99.
And what happened at this party?
So the party. I am assigned to protect my boss. When Iago comes up to me and starts talking me up and down, you know, he does that often. His old man, he's looking for a little bit of fun in the last little bits of life. I ain't really fly that way, but hey, you do you. I didn't know what he was saying. I was busy watching the people to make sure nobody was coming near boss. You know, he really needed my protection, but, he really didn't need my protection. He's Othello. He's the leader of the general military. Why am I stuck there watching people go by, making sure nobody can fight him, just so he and his wife could have private time in his room? He then mentions that I should have some booze, and I'm like, "No way, Chief. That ain't flying." Iago's still chatting me up at this point. He's the one offering me the liquor. I'm a good boy who don't drink. Mama raised a very good boy. He then hands me a cup of mead, thinking I was just going to ignore the fact he was getting me drunk. I did, but that's besides the point.
We heard there was a fight between a civilian and yourself that same night. What exactly went down between the two of you?
Well, I'm starting to get a little of what you kids nowadays call turnt at this point. So I gave up protecting my boss. He's a military general. Why would he need to be protected? I was getting paid for it, but still, he wouldn't know if I step out for a little bit and have a little fun. So I'm standing there, minding my own business, when this dude starts harassing me, thinking I won't do anything. There was no way some dude was going to talk to me like that. Mama raised me a good boy, but she also didn't raise no little kid either. So I get up and throw fisticuffs at this sorry son of a sword. I whip out my Excalibur and go to town.
Interesting choice of words. So after you had whipped out your Excalibur and went to town on those guys, what exactly happened?
Some other guy holds me down. I'm having none of that. I was all eye of the tiger at that point. They finally calm me down, and after whooping enough of them, I go back to protecting my liege, So at this point, Othello was mad at me for standing my ground. I don't know why. He is clueless. No wonder he killed his own wife for no reason. Anyway, he starts harassing me, saying nasty stuff about me getting with his wife, which I would never do. She ain't my type anyways. I prefer other kinds of women, you know what I mean? This guy was acting crazy. Rumor has it that Iago was chatting him up with his sweet nothings, but it ain't none of my business. He ain't the nicest old man, but he's in prison now, so that's that. Guess that old Othello never was right in the head.
Man, I know you a dog. You be all over his woman every night.
Yeah, I did start talking to his wife. Nice lady. I knew that woman was the only thing that was ever going to change his mind. It was a one-track horse at that point. There's no way you were going to be able to change it without going through the sweet spot. We started talking about how crazy Othello is nowadays, what he does in the bedroom, all sorts of that kind of stuff. It's sad that she's dead now. She was a sweet little girl. And did you hear about her father? Died of grief because his daughter married Othello. That ain't right. Anyway, I was talking to her and she mentioned something about a handkerchief. I didn't pay attention. She always liked the weirdest things, you know?
You were in another altercation during your time in Cyprus, right? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
That was crazy. So I was walking back home one night and this dude jumps at me with a knife, like he was gonna kill me. He kind of looked like the guy who attacked me at the party, but it was crazy dark outside, so I didn't see anything. As I killed him, which I did, by the way, somehow the guy stabs me in the leg. I got jumped by 2 people and lived to tell you about it. Now that's a general worthy act, I tell you what. Turns out the guy who attacked me was the dude at the party. You know, I was shocked, whatever, but, you know, I kind of expected it. I'm big time out there. And Iago, stabbed me in the leg. That boy ain't right.
Man, I know you didn't feel it. You are invincible. You're invincible, Michael.
What do you know about the details of Othello's suicide, his wife's murder, and the events that led up to it?
I can't tell you all much about that. I was in the infirmary because of the knife wound I got. But what I've heard was that Iago's wife was on the verge of a breakdown, and that after Othello killed his wife, he killed himself, you know? It was kind of weird how it happened on their wedding sheets. Probably some interpretation, but, you know, sort of let that happen. But afterwards, on the spot, then was when I was given general of the armies of Venice. And that's the story.
There is a great surprise waiting to come in and tell her side. Let me get her real quick. I heard at the tavern that this chick knew you, Cassio.
Mikey, there you are. I missed you so much. I'm so excited to do this interview with you.
Please tell me you did not invite her. Bianca, I told you we're not a thing.
Oh, Mikey, don't be silly.
So, Bianca, we just heard quite a story from your friend Cassio. What do you remember about the week Desdemona and Othello died?
What don't I remember? Well, me and Mikey had a wonderful time. One night we went to a bar and my baby got a little too drunk, if you know what I mean. But don't worry, I took care of him and nursed him back to health. Another night, my baby got in a fight and got stabbed, and once again, I nursed his cute self back to health. Oh, Mikey, you really ought to be more careful. I love you, though, always and forever, right, baby?
I can't believe y'all done this. I'm done with this. I have more important stuff to do than talking to this little thing.
Oh, Mikey, I'm sorry, guys. He is so silly sometimes. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Michael, Cassio, and Bianca, for coming on to our podcast. We really enjoyed having you both. Tune in next week for our interview with Faustus, a man who willingly sold his soul to the devil.